beauty industry is an amazing place and it's constantly evolving and adapting and changing with the trends. But one thing that will never go out of style is looking like you, the most natural, radiant, confident version that you could possibly be. And that is where today's video comes into play, because contour and highlight is kind of a thing of a couple years ago, but you can still do it. And it's such a glamorous, nice thing to do for yourself that makes you feel so put together, like you, but just like you put in that special effort to look good for the day, that I wanted to show you how you can still incorporate contour and highlight into your routine, but in a way that's going to be undetectable, super, super effortless, foolproof, and last you all day long while being good for your skin. So if you're interested in achieving this look, then just keep on watching. I have gone ahead and I've prepped my skin and also applied a primer. And then usually my steps would be concealer or foundation, and then contour and a really, really bright concealer under the eyes. But instead, I'm going to show you how to reverse the process. So I'm gonna go in with the really bright concealer and the contour first, and then blend it all over with a really sheer foundation. And what this is gonna do is minimize the amount of blending that we have to do, because sometimes when you have really bright concealer and really dark contour, it's pretty difficult to balance those two shades out with the shade of your actual skin. And at the same time, it's gonna leave you with a really seamless and undetectable contour to your face, so that you're never leaving the house feeling like there's lines of demarcation and you are looking like you, just better. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how it's done. I was recently sent 2 products from the brand Smartere London. They sent me their cream contour concealers in the shade Latte and Honey, and I was really intrigued to use these, not just for this video, but in general, because they have skincare built in, first of all, which I love, and they're vegan and cruelty-free. So they basically tick all the boxes that I look for in products that I'm trying out. I'm gonna go ahead and use the lighter shade first. I've already been trying it out and I love the on-off switch. When it's like this, in this position, it's off, and when you twist it, you're opening it. And what I love about this is you can pack it, you can travel with it, you can have it on your vanity, and because it's turned upside down in the stand, you're not worried of it leaking out. So that's wonderful. And what I love about the product so far is it is really, really emollient. And I think that's because it has jojoba oil as a base, and jojoba oil is not only a natural vitamin E, but it also has antimicrobial properties, and it's a humectant, which means that it draws water to itself, and this is going to soothe things like eczema, psoriasis, what have you. And so then that emollient property is really great for under your eyes, especially if you have early signs of aging or crepey under eyes, because it's going to not sink into the fine lines, it's not going to dry out the under eye area, and it's just going to help hydrate and reverse the aging while you have your makeup on. And the brush being flat on the top is really nice because you can get right into the crevices of your face, or if I'm really careful, I can draw a straight line down my nose and help contour that area or highlight it. So that's the area where we're going to highlight. Now let's move on to contour. Okay, next, going in with the shade Latte, we're gonna twist it to open. And this, again, is really emollient. It's going to spread, so you don't want to apply too much. So normally when you think about contour, you think about the hollows of your cheeks, and mine are actually pretty low. So instead, I'm going to start my contour, instead of where the hollow is, which is like the middle of the ear by the tragus, I'm gonna start a little bit higher and drag it down to lift the lateral part of my cheekbone a little bit higher. So I'm squeezing some out onto the brush, and then starting with the top of the ear instead of the tragus point, I'm going to start placing the product there and then drag it into the hollow, and that's it. So I also want to apply contour along my jawline and my hairline, and the way that I do that is I push my jaw forward to see where the shadow actually is naturally. So it's not a cute look, but that's how you figure it out. And as you can see, it's behind the jaw rather than forward right here. And if you look at where the shadow along your jawline is, it's not up here, it's down here. So because I want to accentuate my jaw, I'm going to go under my jaw and behind it. If you wanted to minimize a very prominent jaw or make your face look a little more oval or heart-shaped, then you could apply it a little bit higher, and that will just push the edges of your jaw into the shadows and minimize its appearance. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm only applying a very, very small amount, and then along the bottom of my jawline. Just like that. So it's so low and so far back that if I was looking at you dead on, you wouldn't see anything. And then what you wanna do with your hairline is push your hair back and apply the most concentration of the product as close to your hairline as possible. So I'm gonna apply it right up here, because if you want to make your forehead look rounded and also make a large forehead look smaller, it wouldn't make any sense to have the contour all the way down here, because it'll just make your forehead look muddy. If you want to round it out, you actually have to push back the edges of it. And the way that we cheat that by tricking the eye is by putting the contour so far back that it looks like your forehead is actually rounded backwards. Okay, so now we blend. So I'm gonna use a beauty blender, but first, because my beauty blender is a little bit dry now, I'm going to re-wet my face, and I am using the Klairs Fundamental Ampule Mist, which I really love because it just gives your skin a beautiful glow. So I'm gonna spray my face down, and then go in with my beauty blender, and I'm going to do the contour first. Okay, so now my contour is as blended as I want it to be. I applied bare minimum effort to blend it out. If I continued going in with my beauty blender or a brush, it would become seamless eventually, but I'm actually gonna leave it because we're gonna go in with foundation in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the highlight now. So just using the tip of the beauty blender, I'm just going to push it in place and not really move it around too much so that the brightness stays exactly where I want it. Okay, so now we've blended everything out as much as we want, and we are going to stop looking like tribal war paint and go in with our foundation. So I'm just using a really sheer foundation, and I'm going to start on my jawline and blend upwards. I'm stippling it in with a damp beauty blender, and without moving anything underneath, so I'm not swiping, I'm just going to pat it all over my face, just avoiding really close to my under eye. And in 1 second, I look contoured, but I also look seamless, and all the harsh lines have completely been taken care of. Look at that, we look even and seamless and dewy and plump, and we look healthy, but we look sharp and chiseled and defined where we want to be. And it looks like you haven't really contoured harshly anywhere, but you have, and nobody will ever know. So now, if I wanted to go in with any other cream products or more highlight, more contour, cream blush, whatever, I would do that before I go ahead and set my under eyes and the rest of my face, but I'm good for now. So I'm going to use a translucent powder on a small brush. I'm going to just tap out under my eyes to make sure it's evenly blended and not settling in any creases. And then I'm just going to really lightly tap translucent powder on top. Okay, so I just finished setting the rest of my face, and I am loving the look so far. I love that there's barely any product under my eyes, but I still look bright, and my bags are well camouflaged. I love that I'm contoured where I want to be, and my contour color isn't drifting down my jawline and really shortening my face. I love that my jaw looks chiseled, my forehead looks round, and it still looks bronzy and warm, but gives me the cuts that I want without being really sharp and in a totally day-to-day wearable way. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my look and I will be back. Okay, so this is my completed look. I just went ahead and did a few more final touches. I put on my eye makeup and my lips, and that's really it. I love the way that my skin looks because I feel fresh and I feel like I still look like me, but just accentuated. The best part of this look is that I know I can run around all day, I can sweat, I can deal with patients and clients and work long hours, and I'm not going to have to worry about A, whether I look like a mess, or B, whether people are looking at my makeup rather than looking at me. It's probably my biggest pet peeve, and I really appreciate the fact that I can, with this technique, wear such thin layers of foundation, but still be putting that effort into my look in the morning. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you want to put a little bit more effort into your look and do something for yourself without having to fuss as the day goes on. And I know that I'm going to be able to do this when I leave for the day today. So I really hope that you love this look, and I hope that you try it out too. And I hope that you give this technique, the products, and Smarter Secrets London a try. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.